Hello, I'm Rick Stivers. I'd like to welcome you back to Young Martin's Reels. Tonight's project is going to be the Shakespeare Synergy Steel. This is a 10p reel, and what we're going to do is I thought that I had already done one of these reels, so I did a repair on it yesterday, and today I found out, or last night I found out, that I have not done a service video on these. So I'm going to knock this one out real quick and get this back in the mail to Rudy so that he's ready to go fishing again. Okay, we're going to take the cover off. We're going to take this spinner head off. And this is the part that was messed up yesterday. Okay, we're going to take and add a little bit of grease right here. And I'm going to put a little oil under the pickup right here, pickup pin. And let's flex that a little bit. All right, and that's going to be ready to go back on. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to pop off the E-clip here. Set that over to the side along with the Teflon drag washer. We're going to pull the spool off, set it over to the side. Now, we're going to take off the Teflon washer. This is the under one. There's one, should be one on the top and one on the bottom of the spool. Okay, then we've got a steel washer and a locking washer. Interesting. I think that actually belongs on the top. Yeah, we've got a bit of a mix-up here in the washer stack. All right, we had two locking washers on the bottom. There should be one at the top and one at the bottom. Okay, so what we should have would be a stack that looks like this. We should have, and there should be a flex washer. Yep, there he is. That's the flex washer. All right. So what we should have is it should have this flex washer first, then this locking washer. Nope. Flex washer, then the steel washer, then the locking washer, then this one, and then the locking washer on the top. That's the stack that this should see. Okay, and we're going to put it back together that way. Okay, in the meantime, let's go ahead and adjust this around all the way to the minimum and see if this will lift up and out of here. There we go, and it does, like so. And we are ready now to remove this screw from this side over here. And there we go. And then this drops right out the side. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this apart so we can clean it. And let's take a look and see if this one has any of the problems that the other one had yesterday. No, it doesn't. Okay, this one's in nice and tight. And let's go ahead and we are going to remove the bushing mounts. There should be one on each side here with the screws in them. And I'm going to take the first one off this side, and it's going to sit over here. And we're going to take the second one off. We're going to move it over to the left. That way they don't get mixed up as to which one goes where. Okay. There we go. It's got that one removed. And now this should lift right out of here. Oh. There we go. Yep, that one. The anti-reverse pawl was not supposed to just fall out, but it did. And it's going to go right there like so. Okay, and we'll set that back in a few minutes. All right, And here is our, yeah, this needed to come apart and be cleaned. All right, there is our axle shaft, and this should slide on there, and it does. We'll clean that up in just a minute. And let's take a look at this part. This is the part that causes people so much grief on these. All right, you've got your bushing here. There's one on each side. There they are. Okay, and then we've got our anti-reverse mechanism here. It's got a spring, and let's take a close look at how that fits in there before we take it off and clean this up. Okay, now that we've seen how it goes, we'll lift it up and out of here like so. Okay, set that down over here, and we are ready to scrub up all these parts. I'm going to go off camera for a few minutes, clean all these parts, and we'll get them ready to put back together here. All right, so. All right, we're back with all the parts cleaned, and in the event that you were to find it necessary to take this apart, what you can do is you can take this clip off the end here, this E-clip off the end right here, and take this spring off the end. I don't see that that's necessary for this one. I've cleaned it up. Everything looks nice. So that's how you would do it. It's just a bit of a pain in the tail to do it. So, and this one doesn't need it, so I'm not going to take it off there. Okay, but I am going to grease up the shaft of the spring so that when I activate this, like so, it has to slide on there. And then I'm going to pull it down a little bit like this, and I'll put some more grease under where it slides so that now it's fully lubricated. And then I'm going to come back and grease the gear. With it greased, I'm going to oil the axle shaft, and then I'm going to go ahead and slide it into the housing like so. All right, next piece it's going to have to go in is going to be this assembly right here, this anti-reverse dog, and it's going to go into, I don't know how well you can see it, we're going to blow this up a little bit. See that hole right there? Okay, this has to go into that hole right there. Yeah, see the hole? All right. Okay. And that rectangle right there goes into that hole. So we're going to put a little bit of grease, and not a lot, just a little into there. And then we're going to take his anti-reverse pawl, and that little notch right there, that part is going to fit into that hole I just showed you. It's into the hole like so, and let's hold it in the hole, get that out of the way. There we go. Now we've got it down in the hole like so. All right, now we've got to build up the crankshaft. Here's our crankshaft. We're going to start off by greasing the gear. Okay. Next is going to go this anti-reverse assembly, which goes first off that hook, that little hook on the spring goes into that hole, and then this entire assembly slides down over top and slides down until it fits over that shoulder like so. All right. Once that's all in place, you can go ahead and install your bushing on one side and your bushing on the other side. And now you're ready to reinstall this. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. This is where you got to get all this to fit together. Okay, so if you look, you see this little arm right here? That has to go into that notch right there. See that notch on the anti-reverse pole, well, that notch there has to go into that. So this is going to sit down through here, and that little notch has got to get into there and there, and the whole thing's got to drop down in. There we go. Had it over too far. There we go. All right, let's see if we've got it properly installed. If we do, we should be able to rotate one way but not the other way. So let's take a quick look. Okay. All right, seems to be working, so let's go ahead and put our bushing caps back on. All right, now if we've got it installed right, this should rotate and we should have anti-reverse, which we do. All right, and I'm going to be satisfied when we've got a bit more grease on the gear. All right, that's nice and smooth. At this point, we're ready to slide this back into the case, like so. And now I'm going to put let's back this out a little more. Okay, we're going to put the handle back on. Did you see it go in the case? It just slides right in. Okay, there we go. Now this handle is going to come in from this side, like so. Hold that in place, and we'll come back and put the locking screw, handle locking screw back in, tighten it down. And now all this should be moving freely, and it does. All right, now we're ready to start assembling the rest of this, which would mean we're going to take this assembly and set it right here like so, and drop it in. And now when we turn that around, okay, that's going to move and it's going to screw it down. That's a minimum point right there. Now at this point, we're going to put in this wavy washer. Then we're going to put in this steel washer. Then we're going to put in this locking washer, this one right here. Okay, now what that will do is that locks all of this, everything from here back to this post. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to put on this Teflon washer. And then we're going to put on our rotor, our spool, sorry, our spool. Now with the spool in place, we can take and put on our next Teflon washer. Now this isolates this spool from everything back behind. These two Teflon washers will now isolate the whole back half of this reel. And now when we put this next locking washer on, it will isolate the spool from the front half. Okay, now not until this tightens down and crimps it in does it actually give you drag. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put in the E-clip like so. Okay, and see, we've got nice, basically no drag essentially right now. Okay. Now, as we tighten this, send it back towards positive drag, now that spool's tightening up. And that's because it's squeezing those two Teflon washers against the spool. All right. We're going to take the spinner cap on. We're going to add just a little bit of grease right here where the rotor is going to rotate. Because what that does, when the button comes out like this, okay, it lifts this whole spinner head up, which allows this piece to drop over on top of here. Now, as you rotate it, it's going to push that back out, and it's going to cause the spinner head to drop back down. And this will allow it to operate smoothly. At least that's what it's supposed to do. All right, so out goes the button, rotate it, boom. In comes the click, out comes the pin, it's ready to wind in. Let's go ahead now and put the cap back on. There we go. Okay, push the button. Line flows easily. Wind it. There we go. And this is the one we repaired the wind for yesterday. Okay, let's try the drag. Nice easy drag. Let's change it around to positive. Okay, that's so much you can't even drag it. Okay, nice solid drag. All right, Rudy, there is your Synergy Steel reel, fully serviced, ready to go. I'll get it in the mail to you hopefully tomorrow. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hey, hit the dislike button. Tell me what it is you didn't like about it. And for now, that's Rick Stivers with YoungMartin'sReels, signing out.